Everyone has a spirit team, angels, guides, your higher self, ascended masters and teachers, but what can you do to develop a closer relationship with them and hear from them clearly? In doing past life regression and higher self hypnosis, a lot of my clients want to know the answer to that very question. They do a session to hear their higher self, but then after the session, what can they do to continue hearing from their higher self and develop an even closer relationship? There's a few things to keep in mind. First, your higher self and your spirit team is not going to have some foreign sounding voice. In other words, it's not going to come and talk to you with a French accent or anything like that. It's going to sound like your voice. It's that voice that kind of talks to you in your head a lot. That voice and that knowing that you get when you're taking a shower and some idea just randomly pops in your head. Or when you're brushing your teeth or washing the dishes and you just suddenly get this epiphany or this idea. That's coming from your spirit team. Another thing to know is that voice is not going to be condescending or negative or doubtful or unloving. That's not the higher spirit realm. It might be lower spiritual entities, but it's definitely not the team you want to be listening to. So if it's filled with positivity, with love, with light, with encouragement, with ideas, that's the spirit team of light. And if you're intentionally trying to talk with your spirit team and you ask a question, let's say, it's the answer that's going to come to you first, within the first few seconds. Anything after that is probably just your conscious mind trying to fill in the blanks and make things up. And we hear from that conscious mind or that ego mind, that personality, all the time. So it's using these little tips and tricks to learn how to clearly hear from your team of light. So here's a couple things I've done in the past. One thing I have done is, that time when you wake up in the morning and you're still kind of groggy, still trying to wake up and you're not really totally with it yet. That's the perfect time to ask your spirit team, hey, what kind of message do you have for me today? Then keeping your mind clear, just listen to the first thing that comes. Another thing I've done that's helped me is throughout the day, I've said to my spirit team, speak so loudly in my head, in my ears that I can't miss you. I purposely set the intention that I want to hear the wisdom, the advice, and the guidance from my spirit team throughout the day. Another way I develop my relationship with my spirit team and being able to hear them more clearly is through meditation. And that can sound daunting and overwhelming if you've never tried it before, so I highly recommend looking for some guided meditations. And I actually have some on my website, wokelightworker.com. If you click on there and look at the videos tab, I pulled some guided meditations off of YouTube that other people have done that I thought were really good ones to practice with. In addition, there's a free meditation on my website called Meeting Your Higher Self that's a guided meditation that you can also practice with. And another great thing to do to learn how to hear from your team is try to take as much time as possible where you don't have anything going on in your mind. So maybe you practice breathing and deep breaths or cleansing breaths. There's a lot of videos on YouTube you can actually look up about breath work. But even just taking a 2 to 5 second break, as spiritual teacher Bentinho Massaro talks about, to just clear your mind and reconnect. It's like doing a reset. Because we can get so tied up and wrapped up with things in our mind just looping over and over again that we don't leave space to hear from anyone on our spirit team. And remember, your higher self is the voice of your soul. So we want to hear from our higher self. We want to hear the direction our soul wants us to go in this lifetime. Because if we listen to just the personality or the ego, it will take us all over the place that our soul doesn't have for us. Take us on paths that are not for our best and highest good. And our ego will take us on paths where we have to continue to repeat and repeat and repeat lessons because we're not getting what our soul wants us to learn in this lifetime. Another great thing you can do to hear from your higher self is just do some grounding. That's walking barefoot, standing in the grass, or even spending time in nature where you get away from technology, you get away from the busyness, and you purposely, intentionally clear your mind. Set the intention and say, hey, spirit team, what do you have for me right now? What can you tell me? What can you teach me right here, right now? And then just quiet your mind and listen for the first thing that comes to you. The more you do this, the more you practice, the easier and clearer it will become. And if you want to ramp it up even more, You have to do the self-work, the healing work, the clearing work, clearing out beliefs that no longer serve you, healing traumas and resentments and feelings of abandonment or rejection or betrayal. All of those things that layer on top of our personality, layer on top of our ego, and keep us from that connection of our true light and our spirit team. So if you're interested in developing a closer connection with your higher self, with your guides, your angels, the ascended masters and teachers on the other side that are there for you, what can you do to incorporate or actually even schedule into your calendar to work on to make that happen?